Halo teman-teman, saya Syahandra Kameron dari Badan Kebudayaan Nasional Pusat Partai Demokrasi Indonesia Perjuangan. Saat ini saya sedang bersama Duta Besar Jepang untuk Republik Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Kanasugi Kenji. Kita akan mendengar dan melihat perspektif Presiden pertama kita, Soekarno, di mata Duta Besar Jepang untuk Indonesia. Mr. Ambassador, how are you?
Well, thank you very much for your having me. I'm very fine.
What have you been up to?
Well, I came to Indonesia in the middle of January, and my primary responsibility to look after Japanese people living and working in Indonesia, particularly in the light of this COVID-19 pandemic. That's my primary responsibility. Yes.
はい、わかりました。It's been 5 months since you live here in Indonesia. What are some of your favorite things to do here?
Oh, of course, I would like to dine out, eating Indonesian food. But again, because of the COVID-19, what I was able to do is a bit limited. But I enjoyed the Padang cuisine, many Indonesian different style noodles.
Yes.
So these are my favorite.
Right, so your favorite things to do here is eating.
Yes,
Oh,
eating Indonesian food.
Yeah. And as we all know, Mr. Ambassador, the month of June is recognized as the month of Soekarno. And Mr. Ambassador, how do you know the figure of Soekarno?
Well, first of all, allow me to extend our congratulations on the 120th anniversary of President Sukarno's birthday as of June 6th this year. And I think all the Japanese visiting Indonesia know about President Sukarno, because as we are about to land the airport, the name of the airport is Soekarno-Hatta Airport. And as we use cash note, President Sukarno's figure is on the 100,000 rupiah note.
Yes.
So every day's life, we are reminded about President Sukarno's achievement. And also, recently, I had an opportunity to visit the newly built statue of President Sukarno in the compound of Defense Ministry, horse riding statue on the occasion of the Guard of Honor of the Indonesian Armed Forces. Was really presidential. So I was really moved by the respect of Indonesian people towards President Sukarno.
It was astonishing, isn't it?
Yes, indeed.
And how did Soekarno inspire you as a state representative assigned to the Republic of Indonesia?
I think I'd like to say two things. One is his vision. There are a lot of commonalities between Japan and Indonesia. We are both maritime nations and two of the largest democracies in the world. But there is one stark difference. Indonesia is a country of diversity, diverse in culture, language, food, way of living, you just name it. But President Sukarno was deeply convinced that this country could do better into the future, and he was trying to make the best out of the diversity of this country rather than treat it as a weakness. And the second is his far-sightedness. If you look at the world right now, the world is very much divided because of the COVID-19 and the world great power libraries. But unity in diversity, which President Sukarno promoted during his time, sounds have profound meaning given the current situation of the world. Yes.
And such as Pancasila.
Yes, and Pancasila inclusive, of course.
And Sukarno had a special relationship with Japan, and we can even find the monument of Sukarno in Japan.
Yes.
In your perspective, how does that the meaning of the relationship itself between Sukarno and Japan?
Yes, during the time of independence and even after the independence, President Sukarno extended a sense of friendship to Japan. recently I had an opportunity to visit the Museum of Declaration of Independence, which used to be the residence of Admiral Tadashi Maeda, where the Independence Declaration was drawn up by President and his fellow leaders. The atmosphere of museum was very solemn, and I was very moved by that atmosphere. And in 1958, when President Karno visited Japan, he sent out a message to Japanese former soldiers who took part in the independence war and died in the battlefield. The message was, to put it in English, independence does not belong to one nation, people or Bansa, but to all mankind. And that's a kind of spirit of friendship he felt to Japan. And the message was inscripted in the monument in Japan, and still it's there. So I think friendship of Mr. Karno, President Karno, was passed over from generation to generation, and even now, of course, including President Megawati as well. Yes.
So it has a very memorable relationship towards the peoples in Japan as well.
Yes, yes. And also in the international arena, President Karno was kind enough to let Japan come back to the international arena by inviting Japan to take part in the Bandung Conference in 1955. That was before Japan becoming a member of the United Nations in 1956, and Japan-Indonesia established diplomatic relationship in 1958. So even before this occasion, President Karno was kind enough to invite Japan to Bandung Conference and let Japan to come back to the international arena. So we are very thankful for that. And also, there are a great fan of President Karno in Japan. And as recently as in 2016, there was an international symposium organized by one of the Japanese universities in Tokyo. And there are, of course, participants from Indonesian side. And one of them was Ms. Putih Gunting, your mother, and also Mr. Heri Ahmadi, current ambassador of Indonesia to Japan. And also, of course, after becoming president, he sent many elite students to Japan. And after returning to Japan, they became cabinet ministers, leading business people, bureaucrats, and scholars, and laid the foundation of economic development of this country and create Indonesia as it is today. So it was a remarkable achievement, not only to Indonesia, but to Japan-Indonesia relationship.
Okay, it's very good to hear that. And lastly, Mr. Ambassador, do you have any message or motivation to all generations concerning the importance of learning and caring about the history of the nation, especially for the youth?
Yes, I think learning about history is always very important, because the basis of country-to-country relationship is mutual understanding, mutual trust, and people-to-people friendship. If I may remind you that in 1977, when Prime Minister Fukuda visited the ASEAN countries, he came up with a so-called Fukuda Doctrine, which is still the basic thrust of Japan's policy to ASEAN. And one of the pillars of Fukuda Doctrine is heart-to-heart relationship. It's a dari-hati, ku-hati relationship. And that's really the spirit of learning about each other. And of course, learning about history, culture, tradition is always important to have a smoother relationship into the future.
Thank you for this amazing opportunity, Mr. Ambassador. I hope you enjoy your time here in Indonesia.
Thank you very much. I will definitely do so. Yes.
ここインドネシアでの時間楽しんでいただければ幸いです。どうもありがとうございました。
Terima kasih banyak. Terima kasih.
Baik teman-teman, kita sudah melihat dan mendengar pembicaraan saya dengan Duta Besar Jepang untuk Republik Indonesia, His Excellency Mr. Kanasugi Kenji. Jangan lupa untuk memetik-metik poin-poin penting dari pembicaraan ini, dan yang terpenting adalah jangan pernah sekali-sekali meninggalkan sejarah. Saya Syahandra Kameron, sampai jumpa.
Sendiri berjalan di tengah malam nan sepi, kian jauh melangkah semakin gelisah. Sendiri termenung di larut malam nan hening, hatiku semakin gundah, oh mata membasah. Bayu dingin lalu, kan bintang mengedip sayu, rembulan menyuram, tiada terbayang harapan. Sendiri melangkah di jalan remang membisu, ku nanti engkau sinar bersama sang fajar. Sendiri termenung di larut malam nan hening, hatiku semakin gundah, oh mata membasah. Bayu dingin lalu, kan bintang mengedip sayu, rembulan menyuram, tiada terbayang harapan. Sendiri melangkah di jalan remang membisu, ku nanti engkau sinar bersama sang fajar.